evening. Joria could not be with us this evening, so I will be running that character for Mr. Troy. And unfortunately, we will no longer have Madigan with us, so Dobrum will go off on into an adventure to come back at a later date. So Matt will no longer be with us here on the stream. We may fill his spot, we may not fill his spot. We as a group have not really decided 100% what we're going to do, but the story will go on nonetheless, and it will be wonderful. So, last we left off, the merry band of adventurers made their way to the mediocre-sized town of Sangorn, looking to either get audience with or to find Elroy, who is the leader of the Bloodforge Syndicate, based in Aureus. They, through some poking around a little bit, were able to... Nice. They were able to find where he was located in one of the inn/tavern there in town, and they very awkwardly made their way into the establishment. Found their way to a passageway that led them down underneath the establishment, eventually coming to a door and making their way inside. They had a brief audience with Elroy himself, who basically so Nex became one of the leaders from Aureus of the Bloodforge Syndicate, and I have the name here written down. I think it's Ilvana. With a clever disguise, Changeling formed into said syndicate, and basically begged for mercy and got him to allow her to take them on as her charge, and put them to work in Aureus for the Bloodforge Syndicate. You all basically halted a meeting that was going on between Elroy and three white cloaked figures that were escorted out by a elven lady that you didn't really catch much of at first. Inside this meeting hall was just piles and piles of gold and platinum and jewels and different things, and it seemed to be one of the hoards or one of the places where the syndicate keeps a large stash of their money. At the end of the meeting, Merrick decided that he was there not to talk, but he was there to, get on with things and try to go after Elroy, who pinned him to the table with a couple of daggers into the shoulder, and basically told him to get the fuck out, which they promptly did. Got themselves some sweet tabards and some stuff. They went to look for a place to spend the night. They didn't make friends in the tavern in which they entered in to go down for the meeting, so they thought it was a better idea to go try to find somewhere else to stay. And in doing so, several folks decided to sleep in the cart. They lost Dobrum, who apparently went and got drunk and fell asleep on a park bench, essentially, on the side of the street. The next day, they woke up to find him missing, and they went searching for him, found some clues, and were led out of town back towards Aureus just a little ways. They found a small cottage kind of tucked in by a lake, and it was there that they came upon some Bloodforge Syndicate and this elven lady that they had saw the day previous in the meeting with Elroy, who was leading the three cloaked figures out. There was a brief tussle that happened, and after which the group was led into a side room where the elven lady was caught by Sabros, doing or having some kind of funny traits to her, just noticing that the air and everything around inside the building was colder than it really should have been, in tune with nature and things of such. And she revealed herself secretly to you all in the side room as none other than a giant silver dragon who goes by the name of Nala de Viol. And she didn't give you a whole lot of information other than she was basically on the inside of the syndicate doing some work, which she would not reveal to you at this time, but advised you to go back to Aureus, get to work, get stronger, and see what you can do for the better of the town and the countryside there. And there will be a time when she will call upon you and need your aid. And you will know when she calls upon you. She didn't give you any specifics, and Joria specifically asked, "Ooh, will you give us some secret dragon magic to know what we're going to do?" And she just kind of chuckled and said, "No, you'll know when I come for you." So, having that discourse take place, the group put themselves back together, left the cottage, and were headed back out to the road to go back to Sangorn to pick up their cart and some goods and head back to Aureus. When they overheard a very loud, guttural roar, only to look back and then eventually go back quickly to find the cabin in ruins and a dragon form flying off into the distance. The cabin burning in kind of like a frost fire kind of situation. None of the syndicate remained alive at that position, and you guys basically returned, or were in the process of returning back to Aureus at her request. And that is where we will open the game with the group. I will put you guys coming into Aureus the next morning. So, if someone wants to move your cart back to Aureus, you may. And that's where we'll be. You guys will be coming into the gate on the western side of the city. It's a cold morning. Just exiting winter time here, so spring is coming, but it's not quite here yet, but it's pretty close. And yes, here be sexy dragons. So, band of Merrywood adventurers, what would you like to do?
That's a great question.
That is a good question.
We should see
You
if
literally-
there's a syndicate chapter here in Aureus.
You literally have no ties whatsoever to anything at this point, really. So you could literally
have robes.
Do whatever you want.
It may be a bit of a risk to go back to the slided dive, considering the way we left it last.
We're level 6 now. You won't know what hit him.
Well,
It was the shady part of town in Aureus, right? The slided dive.
the slided dive is the shady part of town. That's correct. I'm gonna
Should
pull
have
up.
taken notes.
Pull up. You're lucky I made notes before I started all this. I still have some things to go back and reference. It's kind of nice. I don't really know what I was thinking at the time. I must have been thinking about being a DM.
Our note taker and our moral compass are gone.
No.
Yeah.
Shit balls.
Yikes, we're unchained bandits
You
now.
are in trouble, folks. Just to
And we've
let-
been recruited by a dark, evil syndicate.
right?
I'm chaotic good, I don't know.
What could possibly go wrong?
Many things, or nothing. You never know.
All the things.
The dice will decide. So as you guys come back into town, it's a normal morning. There's hustle and bustle. There's people, going about their business. You see carts loaded up with various sacks of grains and things, and you hear people as you pass talking about the planting season coming soon upon us and spring being here, and wanting to get down to the job board and put out their calls and their needs for hands to plant and ready the fields. And you hear a couple of like burlier dwarves come by and they're kind of grumbling about how they need to fix up their wagons for the new season of hauling stone and granite and things out of the mountain, just down the way from some of the open air mines that they don't use during the winter time. You see various little groups of children running throughout the streets, just kind of playing and enjoying the outdoors since it's not quite as cold anymore. Aureus is, a central mountain located city, so during the wintertime it's very brutally cold here. So people are just kind of out and about and enjoying the sunshine and the little bit warmer temperatures. So it's becoming a very bustling time of year here in the city and in the surrounding area. So you would figure that there's probably any number of things you could get your hands into right now, depending on what you guys want to do.
I suppose we could check the job board and go plow fields. Is this a militant job board, or is it just like a help out the town job board?
So you don't really know.
Let's go check out the job.
Okay. So you guys make your way. Let me find the right page here. Okay. The job board, after asking around a little bit, is located so if you're in the commons, if you go back to the commons where you were staying with Grizzly, you would go basically north in the city towards the Core Forge. The Core Forge is where the secondary wall or interior wall of the city is, where the king lives, where all the keepers' houses, as they're called, all reside. So basically, behind that is your extremely high up people, but just on this side of that, you have the Forge District, and the Forge District is, you're in a dwarven city. You're in a city that was founded by the dwarves. Now, all manner of races live in this city in today's society, but several thousand years ago, the predominance of the city was dwarven. So, keeping with tradition, forging and smithing and those kinds of things are still very core to the society here, and there's an entire district based on that lineage. And the jobs board is posted where you come out of the commons and go into the Forge District. It's basically at a crossroad of two main streets. It's just bam, right there. You can't miss it.
I will go check out the jobs board.
Okay. So you guys take, 15 minutes or so to walk there. You see various postings on it. You see, need 2 or 3 farm hands to help plow 10 acres of farmland, and you see needing basic stone workers and carvers for the open air mines that are getting ready to open in the next week or two. You see a couple of postings for basic guard duty or basic sentry kind of work. Apparently there's a new garrison getting ready to be built to the northwest, just outside the mountains, where they're looking to kind of reinforce one of the roadways that comes into Aureus. So they're getting ready to build a new garrison there. So they need sentries to kind of be posted up and keep any wayward beasts or anything away from the skilled workers that are going to be there setting that camp and that structure up over this building season. Um, you also see a post kind of down in the lower right hand corner of the board, and you read through everything, and yeah, that's that pays 5 gold, and that pays 50 silver, and nothing sounds too awful crazy. But there's this one post in the bottom right hand corner that catches your attention, and it has a it's very tattered, like the corners are worn. It looks like it's been rained on a couple of times. So the post has been there for a while, and basically all it says is looking to hire mercenaries um, for an assignment. Is basically all it says. It has a skull and crossbones drawn on it, and next to it it has a handsome reward, and that's all it's got on it.
Well, my favorite type of reward is handsome.
My favorite kind of request is the vague one.
Very good. It does give a very brief description of where to go to pick up the job. And it is right here in the Forge District. And let me grab where did I put the
Ooh, a convenient plot hook.
Yeah, convenience is my middle name.
I'm not good at thinking on my feet, so railroad me a little bit.
You are looking for the Iron Blank.
The iron what?
The Iron Blank Forgery. Like, like
There's a word missing, or
BLA
The
and
iron what forgery?
the
I'm playing
iron-
fucking
Oh,
categories here, man.
Did the rain wash it away?
The iron what, you asshole? What the fuck, man?
I've missed you guys.
You can't just throw softballs out for us like.
It's not even like a good pitch, just like a little lob
Well,
toss.
It's
It's
sometimes
been a while.
sometimes I just gotta spoon feed. No, not really.
We gotta work back up to Pope check.
Yeah,
just go right off
you
the
can't
bat.
just go right to Pope check. Come on, fuck. All right, so you're looking for the iron. You're looking for the Iron Blank, is what you're looking for. And by asking around, it's like maybe a 5-minute walk from here.
Let's head there then.
Okay.
You said it was morning when we got here, right? Just
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, you're probably at this point. You're 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. Pretty early still in the day. Looking for my names, and I don't see it. Balls. Okay, it's fine. All right, so you make your way over to the Iron Blank. You basically take the left street away from the jobs board. You curve around. You spend about 5 minutes. You dodge in and out of the different carts that are coming in. This district is fairly all one story in nature. There's really no need for anything to be super tall. Again, all stone buildings. And the forge and smiths dot the street. Like, here's one on this side, then there's two on this side, then one on the other side. Some have very ornate signs out front, and some of them have, it's basically hanging on one rusty chain, and it just kind of swings in the breeze. So there's all manner of different types and I guess price ranges, I guess you could call it, of different types of shops and things here, from your basic, nails and horseshoes and things like that, making general goods, all the way up to fine enchanted, armor and weapons and things of that nature. So the Iron Blank is kind of a middle of the road looking kind of place. It's got a decent sign out front. The stonework in the front is slightly better than commoner. It's got a very nice, hardy oak door in the front, and you see a robust black smoke smoldering out of the smokestack on top of the building as you approach.
Poke check.
There
There's
is
probably
there
a lot of
is
smoke
no
here.
Pope here, as the smoke is the wrong color.
Just check.
Yeah, it's all good.
Place is called the Iron Pope. That's what it is.
Oh.
I like a poke.
Wait, that's actually a really bad thing. We're not going to talk about
Yeah,
Iron
no.
Popes.
No. avert your ears, kids. Oh Lord. So bad.
Anyway,
So it's a nice place, and you're there.
I've worked in worse forges.
Who exactly are we looking for?
It didn't say. It just told you to come to this place.
I hope someone grabbed it.
Nope.
So it's a 5-minute walk back to the job board.
Like, oh yeah, we're just looking for the job, with the skulls and the crossbones. That one.
So
Who do you need killed, and how much are you paying?
We're inside, right?
okay, did you go inside? Because nobody ever
Oh,
said
yeah.
you went inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're-
So you guys go inside, and you see a fairly nice forge in front of you. It's for what you would expect. You expect to be dull and dingy and dirty and whatnot. It's actually fairly well kept in here. There's a medium size billows blowing, kind of in an accordion fashion into this into the forge. There is a large, what looks like a greatsword hilt buried up into the into the coals, and you can just see it just roaring this like of just bright reds and oranges. And on the opposite side of that, you see this really, really, really rugged looking dwarf. Red, ruddy beard, really spiky, short red hair, brown leathers with like a thick leather apron over the top of it. Arms that just look like the size of your chest. I mean, this dude swings a hammer for a living. And he's over there, and you see him reach up, and he grabs the great sword out, and he takes it over to the anvil. You see him kind of look it over, and he flips it over, and he pulls out this big old fat mace, and he just whoosh, ping, whoosh, ping, whoosh, ping, and he's dragging it back, sculpting the metal out the way he wants it. He takes it and he turns it over and he looks at it, and you see him take his hammer back and ping, sparks scattering and flying all over the floor. And he doesn't notice you at first, and then all of a sudden he kind of looks up and sees you, and he goes, "I'll be with you in a minute." Ping, goes back to hitting it, not even looking up. Ping, looks at it again, feels pretty satisfied with it, and sticks it back in there. He flips a little lever, and you see the billows start going again. "Aye, what can I do for you?" As you see him kind of wiping the sweat kind of off of his nose and off of his forehead. "What brings you here to the Iron Blank?"
We're here for the vague job with the vague reward.
"You're gonna have to be more than specific than that. There's a lot of those running around."
The one that was posted on the board that said to come.
"Aye. So, you're up for a little adventure, eh?"
Definitely.
Alright. How many of you are there?
Well,
This week, only 3.
good question.
Still two.
And Joria pipes up and goes, yeah, 4? she's kind of sitting there with her hammer kind of down, and she's just kind of got her arms kind of crossed around it, just kind of looking at him, scanning him up and down. My, it's really hot in here. Do you stand in here all day? He kind of looks at her and goes,
Julia's
I.
Canadian now.
Accents aren't my thing.
Julia's Canadian. It's canon.
It's canon. Write it down. Somebody send it to Troy.
I'm sorry. I
No.
lost.
That's okay. That's okay. So he basically looks you guys over and goes, well, if you're up for an adventure, I got the job that needs to be done. Can't say that I've found anyone that's been able to do it. It's been nearly a year since I posted it. The reward has gone up significantly since I started it because, well, I'm pissed off and I need it done. You lads
Well.
think you can do it?
It's one way to get something done.
I feel like we faced worse.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
Well, as far as vague threats go.
Right, right. So basically, he kind of turns his billows off and he says, "All right, well let's go back to my table and let's have a drink and let's talk about it." So he basically shuts his forge down to have a conversation with you guys. So he leads you back to this like little corner, and there's just a basic table with 4 or 5 chairs. There's a small like half a cask essentially, kind of tucked up against the wall. And he pulls down a couple of glasses and he pours a couple of glasses of ale and passes them out on the table. And he sits down and he says, well, here's the job. 2 years ago, my family and I had a small family business, let's say, just northwest of here, not too far from where they're going to put the new garrison in, but more towards the mountainside. And we had a small mine there, and my family and I used to use the mine to mine some very rare jewels that we would sell to the jewel crafters here in Aureus. And those jewels were used for many different things. They were of fine enough quality for rare enchantments for the House of Arcana. They were some of the jewels that we found within our particular mine were even good enough to be crafted and placed into the new prince's crown, the royal crown. And that mine has since been closed because there is something in the mine that was starting to kill members of his family while they went in to go to work. And so, as opposed to alerting the guard and alerting everybody within the kingdom essentially of where these jewels were coming from, they just closed the mine and haven't gone back really since because no one within the family can take care of it. Every person that they've hired to go and do the task either went there and came back and said, you can go fuck yourself, or they never came back. So there's really not any details that he gives you to tell you what it is or what it could be. All he knows is there's something dreadful in the mine, and their family business has been shut down for nearly 2 years because of something residing inside the mine that wasn't there for however long his family had had that mine before.
What's the reward?
He kind of looks at you and he goes, Well, since you're the first group that I've had in nearly 6 months to come up here and take on the task, the reward is this. And you see him stand up from the table and he goes back to a room. He comes back with a chest that's probably, I don't know, about 2 foot long and about a foot tall. Sets it down on the table and the whole table goes and shakes. And you see him reach kind of into, like, underneath his apron, and he pulls out this, like, golden key. I mean, just beautiful. I mean, just the purest gold you've ever seen, basically, ever. There's these dwarven runes intricately carved, like in a spiral pattern down the key, and he takes it and he sticks it into the lock, and you see this like really light puff of purple energy just kind of boop as he turns the key, and the chest just opens itself. Inside you see 3 satchels. There's one on the left side, and they're all divided. So there's like basically wooden slats that make 3 different pockets inside of this chest. He pulls out the one that's on the left-hand side, and the sack is probably like if you held your hands out with with your palms up like this, it would essentially fill both of your hands. And he sets it down on the table, and it makes a loud clank as it hits the table. That satchel right there is the reward if you complete the task and bring back proof that the mine is clear. And you know what? I'll even throw in a bonus for you. And he reaches in, and you see like a little door on where he pulled that sack out. He like moves the door to the side, and you see this like golf ball sized diamond. And he pulls it out and he sets it on top of the satchel. The satchel plus the diamond if you complete the task.
Did I miss it, or did he say what's in the satchel?
He did not say what was in the satchel.
What's in the back?
He just cracks open the top, and all you see is glinting platinum. And he satches it back up.
I'm gonna die.
You gonna die so bad. Arcana check on the back.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on, let me make sure I have Arcana. I can't remember. Yeah. 7.
7 or 17?
17. 17.
17. You don't get any aura coming off of the bag, but there is definitely an aura coming off the chest.
Well, I could imagine.
So
What would it take for you to throw the chest and key in? Not its contents, but just the chest and key. Because I like that. It makes me-
That's a family heirloom. That won't be going anywhere.
so
Nothing would change your mind on that.
My cold dead fingers.
I'd like to visibly hold Mirik back.
That's a good plan.
He eyes you like he kind of cocks his head a little bit and eyes Merrick, and then looks at Nex. You just see this like little smile come across his face.
So the money seems nice and all, but I'm after something more specific. The gems out of these mines. Have you ever seen red corundum come out of this mine?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Looking for red corundum,
Red
Frequent-
corundum.
frequently used to summon fire elementals.
I can't say that one is extremely common, but I can't say that I've never seen it come out of there.
That's enough for me. I'm on board for this.
Very well.
Sounds like a challenge.
What say you? Do you accept?
I'm in.
Alright. So he looks at the 3 of you and he goes, alright, I'll be right back. He cinches up the sack. He grabs the diamond, puts it back in its place, closes the door, puts the sack back in, puts it back down, and locks it back up, tucks the key away, and returns the chest to wherever the hell he got it from. He comes back and he sits down and he goes, "Okay, all right, the job is yours. When you have completed the task, return here." And he pulls out this little, I don't know, like 4 or 5 inch tall piece of rolled up parchment and hands it to you next. This ought to get you close.
It's a map, huh?
Aye.
All right. I'm actually trying to see if I need anything from this guy, but otherwise,
And when he hands it over, Jory goes, "Oh, a treasure map? How exciting!
You could say so.
I've always wanted to go hunt for buried treasure."
Well, that's quite what we're doing today.
Yeah.
It's a treasure hunt. Aren't you excited?
So excited.
I'm trying not to treat Jory like an actual child.
I sure wish my uncle was here to see this.
I whispered to Joria. They didn't say we couldn't take everything from the cave.
I mean, who else is gonna? Everyone's just dead.
I mean, guys,
No
do
one's
what you
been there in years. I mean,
do what you want. It's up to you guys. Totally up to
I mean,
y'all.
I like the bag full of platinum, so I mean. Yeah.
but we could have the bag full of platinum and other whatever we find. At least there are some other dead adventurers in there. They must have something.
Fair.
That's a good point.
That's a fair point. That really is a fair point.
Nothing else will have something to eat. Maybe. Depends on. It might have been a while.
Before
Might be a little
we
rancid.
forge,
What's up?
I'm trying to get a feel for. I just need scrap metal.
Okay.
I'd like to purchase some from the guy, but I don't know. Maybe like a pound. Do you have like a pound of just scrap shavings of iron?
I'm sure I could come up with something. Give me just a minute here, lass.
Thank you much.
You see him disappear behind the forge, and you hear rattling and clanging and banging, and he comes back with several, like, 1-foot little bars of iron. You know, about yay long and probably about, I don't know, ½ inch to 1 inch in diameter.
Like bar stock, yeah.
Yeah, basically bar stock, and hands it to you.
Beautiful. How much do I owe you for these?
Ah.
Thanks, I'll probably die with them. I'd like to leave.
Fair enough. Alright, so you have accepted the task of clearing the mine. Let's see. And I don't remember. Did anybody ask this gentleman's name?
No, we're notoriously bad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarf guy who runs the shop who will pay us for things.
Right? Pay us for things. I wrote it down, now I gotta find it. Hold on. Because I'm awesome. I think I put it on the bottom of the pile. Fudge, where'd it go?
The name's Dobrin.
Yeah, Dobrum.
He got swollen like the week they were on.
Wow.
Fucking jacked.
I mean, it is called the Iron Blank.
Yeah, you know, it is
It's
kind of
the
true.
Iron Loot.
It's the what? The what? I don't understand. Son of a bitch, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. The forge owner's name is Ferdinand Redbeard.
There you go.
Ferdinand Redbeard. So somebody write that down. Okay, so you have a task. You can set out whenever you like. You can do whatever you like. You can go wherever you like. The day is yours. There is no more railroading to be done.
I believe I'm set on supplies.
I think I'm okay on them too.
I'm ready.
By the way, look at this map. Like, how far should we like get the cart? Or is it like a walking distance?
Let me do a little.
I would get the cart because who knows what we'll find and bring.
Yeah, I suppose they'll need a way to haul our bodies back.
That's true.
is the thing? There's the thing. Alright, so
It's around those mountains.
it's right around over here.
Yeah, we're getting the cart.
It's about a day's travel, roughly. Half a day to a day, depending on how fast you travel.
Well, I'm
And
ready
who
to
knows,
go.
without the carts, you won't have the means to carry maybe whatever you find or don't find.
We do
Or
have quite a strong
perhaps a
lizard man.
dead companion, you never know.
I vote that we gather frickin' frack. and
Frickin'
ride out
frack
to the-
and flickin' flack. Sounds good. Alright, so
What were the horses actually named?
something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It
I'm
was,
pretty sure it's frickin' frack. Or flippin' flack or some shit like that.
I defer to the horse master here.
Yep, exactly. Alright, so you guys load up your stuff and you head out. It's roughly lunchtime at this point, so you could, if you rode straight through, you could probably make camp just outside of the mine area by nightfall. The path leading to the mine is fairly very rural. It's not as well traveled by any stretch of the imagination as the path to Sangorn or the path to Luri. This direction is very, very much more remote. At certain points, you have to have Sabros kind of get down and look for the path because you're not exactly sure what's just rolling, hill and grassland versus where the actual path road actually is. So it takes you the better part of the afternoon to get yourself guided in the right direction. But you, with the aid of the map, you are able to stay on task and stay on point. You don't really see much in the way of people. You see various birds and animals and different things on the way. Nothing that's striking or that catches your interest outside of just normal things that you would see in kind of a semi-mountainous area as you kind of curve around the mountain range, headed to the northwest. And as evening comes, up ahead you see what looks like kind of a rundown. Excuse me, I'm sorry. What looks like kind of a rundown old cabin with a hitching post out front and a water trough. You see a small little, almost like a stables, like building off to the side of it. It's kind of open on one end. Various bits of decayed hay and things just kind of lay inside of it. It basically looks very ghost town like nobody's really been here. There's no sign of a fire or anything in the fireplace. It looks pretty desolate.
Is this where the mine is, or we're still just on the way?
You're very close. You're basically at the homestead of where they lived, but the mine is still another, half hour past the homestead. So they didn't keep the mine and the homestead right on top of each other in case somebody found the homestead. They wouldn't necessarily know where the mine was.
Fair. Well, I suppose this is as good a place as any to squat for the night.
Okay.
I'd like to knock on the door as like a courtesy, just to make sure we're not gonna get murdered.
Yeah, fair enough. You knock. You knock on the door and there's no answer.
Is the door locked?
It is not locked.
I'd like to proceed inside.
You step through the threshold. It's quiet. It's dusty. One of the chairs next to the table that you see when you come in is toppled over. There's some broken and charcoal-looking logs in the fireplace that look like they've been there for quite a while.
Is there a bed? Because dibs on the bed.
Is there what?
Like a bed, just a bed.
There is a bed tucked over in the one corner. But there's no sheets on it or anything like that. It's just the bed and the mattress, essentially, laying over there.
Anything is better than sleeping in the back of a dirty cart with this guy.
Right.
Hey.
So, it's a warm place to stay. It's a dry place to stay. If you guys wish to, spend the night here, you're more than welcome to. You want to look around, you're more than welcome to look around. And, whatever you want to do.
So it's kind of like a hunting cabin.
So, it's a mining cabin.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a hunting cabin. I mean, it kind of
For rock hunters.
yeah, it serves the same-ish kind of purpose, really. But it's basic. It's very basic. It has the necessities to get a good night's sleep, to cook food, to stay warm, to stay dry. That's basically what it's for.
Then I'm down to stay.
Okay, very good.
I can sleep anywhere.
I'm gonna opt to head straight to sleep.
All right, so evening is come. The sun has set. The purples and the blue hues set out across the plains, away from the mountains, as the sun drifts over the rolling hills out to the west. It's very quiet here. You hear various birds and night life just kind of coming to life as evening takes you. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. So if anybody needs to use the restroom, grab anything, go ahead and do that. Twitch chat, I'm very sorry that we didn't change the scene on chat till just now a little bit ago. But we will keep that up for the rest of the broadcast. At least you got to hear our sexy, wonderful, silky voices for the first part. And we,
Yeah!
yeah, man, oh yeah, totally cool, rad.
No.
Anyways,
No more gnomes.
so
If it's gnomes in the mine, we're leaving.
Welcome to the Purple Parakeet!
that's right, you some big bastards on this side of the mountains, Larry. Oh yeah.
That's why everyone's dead. They couldn't stand it.
They just killed themselves.
Roll a wisdom saving throw, you ugly son bitch.
Because the only thing that would make that more annoying is the reverb and echo of a kid.
Oh my god, yeah. It's
Echo,
magnified.
echo, echo, echo. Anyways, we'll be right back, guys. We will get back at this here in just a few minutes.
We have to take a break so somebody can draw a mind map.
Shh. We'll be right back, guys.
Definitely
And
dying.
here we go. And we're back. Hello, everybody.
So I asked that if we don't have the mayonnaise, how will her legs grow back? Oh, we're back.
Oh, that's a great question, but if you were a starfish. No, anyways. Hi,
I'm
everybody.
not even looking at
Welcome.
the stream, but make sure you take the title screen down.
The title screen is down. It is most
Nice.
definitely down.
We're doing it.
We almost kind of know maybe what we're doing here. I don't really.
We did it, boys.
Anyways, okay. So, you guys had made it to the cabin. You looked around a little bit. Decided you were going to, I guess, rest for the evening potentially, and I will leave it up to you. At that point, what would you like to do?
We in the
We're
cabin.
going to the mine.
It is nighttime at this point. Night has fallen. Winter
Oh, I'm asleep.
is here. Is
Doing
anybody
the sleep thing.
going to keep watch?
I mean, I guess.
It's up to you guys. You don't have to. Totally up to y'alls.
I'll keep watch.
Watch the horses.
All right. So Sabros takes first watch. Make a perception check for me, please.
23.
23. All right. You don't really notice a whole bunch in your first watch. Being in tune with nature, you hear multiple different species of owls hooting throughout the night. You hear a very distant, faint lone wolf cry.
Do I recognize this
You
wolf?
absolutely recognize this wolf cry.
Interesting.
But it's like very faint and very far away. But it does remind you of one that you've heard before,
Of my other waifu.
potentially. Do you go outside at all, or do you stay inside?
I go outside to, patrol.
Okay.
Make a round.
Okay. With your perception, you notice throughout the night, or throughout your portion, various bear-like animals that come by. They don't necessarily, pay you too much mind or come by, but you notice various predator-like animals in and out of the area throughout the night. They don't necessarily come out of their way to come over and check you out, but you do see them pass by.
Like what kind of predator type animal?
A couple of brown bears. You actually see a bugbear go by at one point, kind of going along the base of the mountain, like out away from you, and then he kind of
adorable little bastard.
disappears into the trees.
Can I animal friendship that little bastard?
Can you animal friendship the bugbear?
Yeah.
I
Little
mean,
bastards.
you
They're
can
like 8 feet tall.
you can certainly
Oh, wait,
try.
no, they're humanoids, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Bears,
they-
they're
They do things.
they're gross looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't animal friendship him, so never mind.
Okay. Fair enough.
Was he going in the direction of the mines by chance?
Have you sat and studied the map?
Yes? Question mark?
I mean, if you feel like your character had studied the map, then I would
My
say
character probably would not have studied the map.
that's why I asked. No, I mean, from what you know and what you've talked with Nex on the way up here, that's not necessarily the direction you think it is, but you're not exactly certain. So your watch draws to a close without too much harm or foul or interest. Is anybody else gonna take second watch?
I'll look up and do it.
So next, go ahead and make a perception check for me, if you would, please.
19.
19. Okay. During your watch, You got a quick pass on from Sabros as he was going to bed. You see basically the same thing, same types of animals. You don't see a bugbear, and you think that maybe he was, maybe a little delusional or just, having himself a little daydream at night. Um, could have been, spawned by that wild tabaxi girl or something. You don't know. But your watch draws to a close without any issues. Last watch. Does Merrick? Do you want to do it, or does
Yeah,
Merrick stay
I'll do
asleep?
it.
Okay, so Merrick, roll a perception check for me.
13.
15. Okay. Um. So a couple hours goes by, and if I know Merrick, Merrick probably goes outside, right? I would imagine, or
Yeah.
would Merrick stay inside?
Go outside.
Okay. So you find your way outside, and you kind of kick around, and looking to see what kind of useful things that Merrick can find around the place, and see if you can rustle up any flesh or anything that you could cook for these chaps in the morning, and just have a good Merrick kind of breakfast. Just something hearty, something they'll appreciate, right? So, exactly, or not. And you make your way over to the barn, or the little stall kind of area, and you're poking around and you're looking for some different things. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me, if you would, please.
Oh boy. 17.
Sheesh. Okay. You begin to feel this cold sensation kind of creeping up the back of your neck. Almost, it's almost like you feel icy fingers, like reaching up the back of your neck, and they start to press inward towards like your ears, like behind your ears. And for an instant, you feel this just cold ice knife like sensation just drawing into the back of your neck and then towards your skull, and then it disappears.
Should I be worried?
AKA, you made your save.
But should I be worried?
I mean,
Am I gonna
What does
die?
your lizard brain tell you?
yeah, exactly. Would Merrick be worried by something like this?
Yes.
Okay. So do you walk around panicked, or what does Merrick do?
I will attempt to investigate the immediate area.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me, if you would.
Oh yes.
Oh man. Okay, so spinning around, you just kind of dart your eyes back and forth, looking around, just trying to. And you have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sitting on top of the barn that you were kind of milling around in front of, you see this dark humanoid-looking figure just kind of sitting there, with legs just kind of dangling off the edge of the barn, just kind of sitting there looking down at you. And you can't see the face because there's like a cowl covering it. Just sitting there, not saying a word. Just looking at you.
Uh, can I help you?
No response.
Action surge.
Was that you?
You see the cloaked figure nod.
Okay, well, why are you out here, giving people fright?
No response.
Really not very helpful.
You see the figure kind of turn their head and they look. So if you're standing in front of the barn and it's facing you this way, looking. So if it looks to the right, so it would be your left. There's basically like a set of giant cedar trees or timbers, evergreen type stuff that kind of that's on the back side of the two buildings that you guys are inhabiting at this point, and it's kind of thick right there. The figure just turns and looks at the forest, and then slowly turns back and looks at you, and then just stares at you.
Is there something out there that I should know about?
It turns and looks at the forest, and then turns and looks at you. And then slowly nods its head like this. And then poof, vanishes.
Well, I'm not sleeping anymore. I guess I'll go back in and wake up the bros.
Okay. So you go back into the cabin and
Guys, there was a weird thing sitting on the house.
The thing.
Yeah, like a person. There were a hooded figure. Said there was something in the woods. Well, didn't say anything really, but it was creepy.
Jeez. Bugbears with this one, hooded figures with the other. You guys are out of your mind.
Well, we are just bunking in a hut in the middle of the woods, I guess.
It was perfectly quiet on my watch.
I saw things.
Hmm. I suppose I'll take your word for it. Did it seem hostile?
No, but I really don't know what it wanted. Feel like maybe I should investigate the woods, but I really not really looking forward to do that by myself.
Well, if there's something in the woods, then we just go into the mine.
I like that idea. I'm better with caves than the woods.
Makes sense to me.
So
Is it-
you want to?
Morning now, or we're still nighttime?
You're close to morning. Like there's that like faint pale light that you see kind of way off to the east as excuse me. Morning is coming, but it's not quite there yet. Dawn is coming, but it's not quite there yet. Probably
My
another
first
hour
instinct was
hour or
to-
so.
First thing I wanted to do was burn down the forest when it said there was something out there, so maybe I shouldn't listen to those impulses all the time.
Well, if all goes well in the mine, I'll have something to burn the forest down with.
Oh, well, good. Won't have to worry about it.
As morning comes, I want to do my Blessing of the Forge. Just one AC to armor.
Alright, go ahead and mark that down for today. Alright, morning comes, nothing else transpires. You know, it's quiet outside. Animals and birds are doing their thing, chirping. Sun comes up over the mountains without any problems.
See, no
Everybody's
bugbears, no
well rested.
assassins.
No, there's nothing out there right now.
Nothing to worry about at all.
Exactly.
You didn't see it.
Exactly.
It was
Exactly.
weird.
If we're gonna die, we're gonna die spectacularly
Oh,
on
yeah,
both
of course.
sides.
I have to. I will accept no other death.
Very funny. So, what do you guys choose to do?
Oh, I'm ready to go, so I'll hop back into the wagon.
You hop into the wagon, you take a look at your map, kind of line it up with the surroundings that you can kind of dictate on your map there. Excuse me. And you ride off in a northeasterly direction.
Are my friends with me? Or did I just
I mean,
Bye.
Joria is sitting right next to you on the seat that drives the wagon, all ready to go. Warhammer kind of tucked down between her legs, and she's just looking around like, "Mighty fine morning. How's everybody doing this morning?"
I'm sure
Good.
she tried to feed us.
Oh yeah, she had a full breakfast prepared by the time you guys up. It was very rustic because there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to forage, but there's, like quail eggs and, a squirrel,
Not a whole lot, but we get quail eggs.
something like a quail, some kind of fucking little bird egg.
fancy?
Fancy. It's squab, really.
Tiny omelets.
Tiny goblins. So, you guys spend about, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes. There's not really a path, more so as there's just no large trees or brush essentially blocking your way as you meander through, heading to the northeast. When all of a sudden you come upon a small clearing, kind of at a face of the mountain where the trees kind of turn into it, and there you see before you what looks to be the opening of a mine shaft. And that is where you are currently staged.
Well, I suppose we've arrived.
There's a toppled over mine cart laying out in front. There's various tattered pieces of cloth and different things kind of scattered out in front of the mine.
Well, whatever it is, it's not totally cave bound, right?
Go ahead
Yes,
and
that makes me feel much better.
roll me
I know, right?
Could you guys roll me a perception check, please?
Maybe it was in the woods last night.
5.
6.
13.
And we're already dead.
Looks like a wonderful mine entrance. You don't really see or hear anything.
There's a rainbow coming out of it.
No,
No, nothing seems awry.
just just hanging out. Just an entrance.
Can I go investigate the cart?
Certainly, you may. So you go up. If you'd like to investigate it, make an investigation check.
-1. 7.
It's a cart. It's knocked over with some rubble laying in it. That's about it.
I knew it. It was a cart. The whole time.
Thanks for your detective work.
You're welcome.
That's not Dwarven. I hate you. Anyways. So, what do you do?
I'm just gonna stride on in. We're here to do a job, and we've got to do it.
Okay. You enter. Let me do.
I'll back him up.
Okay. You enter the front part of the mine, and you don't really see much. The walls are very carved, very not intricate, but they're definitely laid in a very dwarven-like pattern. Supported very well, structured very well. There's not a lot of wear and tear here. There's a very nice rail system running underneath your feet into this mine. So, when it was in use, you would think that this was a very well, from the entrance way at least that you see, a very well kept mine shaft.
And Merrick, what do your lizard eyes see? Because I have no dark vision.
Well, I guess I need to make another perception check now that we're in here.
Mm,
No, I see nothing either.
The way before you is calm be the waters.
I see nothing to worry about.
I'd like to light one of my candles. It goes 5 feet of bright light and 5 feet of dim light.
Get hunted.
Perfect. That's much better.
That hunts for light. Scree.
Are
There
any
you go.
little torches on the walls? Anything in a sconce?
There are some old burnt out torches that, are, stuck out at a 45 degree, but they've all since burnt out. There's not really not much left on the ends of them, really. And at this point, there's no, magical sconces or anything giving low light or any kind of light at this point. It's a very dark mine shaft at this point.
Yeah, I thought as a cleric I had some kind of light spell, but apparently I was tripping out.
Okay. So
It's now a horror campaign. Our only goal is to survive.
does anyone
I
have
would
the
like-
ability to
Oh, I do.
Ability to what?
It's a
Make light?
cantrip? Yeah. Oh, it's only... Wait. Okay, I'd like to take one of the bar stocks that I got from the forge guy, Ferdinand,
Okay.
and I have a cantrip that gives me 20 feet of bright light and 20 feet of dim light.
Okay.
And it's going to be blue light because I get a choice.
Excellent. Alright, so you make your way in a little ways and your cantrip hold on. Where'd it go? Yeah, there it is.
I'm sorry if I missed something important. There was a car alarm going off.
No, you're fine. I'm just kind of revealing stuff.
And just for clarity's sake, if it comes up, I'm holding it in my shield hand, left-handed.
Okay, perfect. You make your way into the entrance, and about 15 or 20 feet in, the mine splits into 3 directions. There is straight ahead, there is right, and there is left.
Left is best.
Left is a 5 to 6 foot hallway. Right is a 5 to 6 foot hallway, and ahead of you is 10 feet wide. Which way would you like to go?
Subro said left.
Okay.
Left is
Go
best.
left.
Left it is. Left is best. Alright, so you make your way to the left. Go ahead and move your tokens in the order that you would like to be in.
Should probably lead.
Okay.
As much as I don't love the idea of going single file down a dark mine shaft.
Haha. Haha. Single file down a shaft. Haha. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yuck. Alright, so you guys begin to make your way to the left down the mine shaft. Roll a perception check for me, please, everyone. And I'll roll for Joria. That was very bad, Joria.
17.
Okay.
Also 17.
15.
The 217s, you hear what sounds like dripping water.
but it's not dripping water. It's blood. I'd probably be able to smell it if it was blood.
Definitely not blood.
It's blood.
Okay, well.
Thanks for putting us all at ease.
Alright, if you continue, your tunnel turns to the left after about 40 foot or so. It starts to get a little warmer as you make your way into the mountain. You lose the cool, morning mountain air for a more moist,
Moist.
exactly, moist, for more of a, cave-like feeling. Uh-oh, we lost Nex. No, Nex, come back.
What happened?
Your
Camera to go.
camera dropped out, girl.
Working on my end.
Pity. Anyways, alright, so move yourselves forward to your open spot here the way you would like to be, please.
Oh, now I'm losing everyone. Okay, it's just Roll20 being Roll20.
Yeah, it does things. Oh, wait, there you are. Cool, we'll put Joria back here. Alright, so you round the corner and you, on the ground ahead of you, Merrick, and you pick up on this first because, well, you kind of look for things like this from time to time. You see dried bones laying on the floor, kind of in a little pile.
Investigate the bones.
Okay. It's easy enough. They're humanoid in nature. You're uncertain exactly what race or whatnot, but it's medium stature, so probably human, elf, that size individual, and there are multiple piles of bones here.
Well, boys, I think we found some adventurers. Or family members, if we're going back far enough. These aren't dwarves. Never mind. Adventurers. I've decided.
Mercathen has decreed it.
Okay, quick game aside. This kind of feels like a cop-out, but I actually didn't learn any of my 3rd level spells. So I'm going to do that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Based on the little that we know already.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. I am not being...
I guess in-game, I'll take this time to incense these bones, just out of...
So you're gonna
Clarity.
investigate, or what are you doing?
it's just a flavor, incense the... I guess I'll investigate them as
Yeah,
a...
I guess that would kind of be like an investigation kind of thing.
Hey, Merrick,
Yes.
do you have a problem with bugs?
No.
It's a
Like-
13 for investigation.
You're positive, like, you don't have a problem with bugs.
Yeah.
Like, promise.
I think I'll be fine. I did come
Okay.
from a swamp.
Okay. I would like to use my wild shape and turn into a swarm of rock grubs and chill out on Merrick.
You're gonna turn into a swarm of what?
Rot grubs.
Rot grubs. Okay.
Yes.
And you're going to chill out on me?
Yes.
Sabaros is now a swarm of rot grubs resting on Mericathen's beautifully placed shoulder.
Okay, that's not quite what I had in mind.
Gross.
Next, so
I will keep the wiggling to a minimum.
that's wow.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby, baby.
You can wiggle all you
yeah.
want.
You get some general essence from them. They were killed, or they died in some kind of struggle. You're not exactly sure what or how, but it's not the way they're positioned and laid, and the pieces that are there and aren't there. They were definitely and not peacefully laid to rest here.
So it's all just bones. It's not corpses.
Correct, just bones.
Yikes.
Flesh eaters. Or they're old.
Nom 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 nom.
Either could happen. Or they've got rock grubs.
Could be. You never know. But the question is, can the rock grubs helicopter?
Well,
Tiny grub dicks.
That's right. Tiny grub dicks. That's fucking hilarious. Alright, so, you guys proceed forward a little further?
yes.
Alright, as you make your way towards the end of this hallway, the ceiling was only about, 10 foot tall or so, but Merrick, as you're heading down this way, you see the ceiling stops at the end of this tunnel, and it just kind of disappears into a black expanse in front of you. You can't really see the roof because your vision only extends, 60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, your dark vision, the blackness just disappears in front of you. And the 10-foot wide path becomes 15 to 20 before it disappears out of your sight.
Well,
Are you
it's-
guys trying to be quiet as you come in here, or do you not really care? What would Merrick Cathen do?
Merrick would probably stealth because he is a skilled hunter. And there's evidence that we're intruding.
Joria peeked,
They,
Joria
Are you
peeked,
sure he's skilled?
Joria peeked with
Uh,
interest, wants to be up near the front, so...
I will go ahead and luck that.
Alright, Joria rolled an 18 for her stealth check.
There, that's better.
Okay,
You're welcome.
you all as watch as Merrick Cathen just poof disappears into the dark, and you hear a very light whisper. Merrick, where'd you go?
So is there like a floating swarm of rock grubs now?
What was your did you roll stealth for the rock grubs?
I don't know if it matters. Oh,
Just
rot.
roll
R-O-T.
rot grubs. Roll a stealth check and add your dex.
Just burrow into his skin. They can't see him.
Well, if he would have turned invisible, technically he would have been wearing them, so they would have turned invisible. But
You 13.
13. There is a faint outline of rot grubs floating through the air, but you're kind of so tiny that you think that nothing sees you. Next, what was yours? 13.
I haven't made one. That was perception
Oh,
for the
okay,
bones.
sorry.
Uh,
Stealth check,
I'm gonna
please.
move up here. Stealth check.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
9.
9.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's.
Also, I'm bright as hell.
Oh, you're bright as hell.
Yeah, with the stick, the bright stick. I'm loud and I'm bright.
Oh, that's right. Oh, buddy.
Hey,
Okay.
friends, what's going on? Loudly.
All right. So as Merrick, as you disappear, as Joria just kind of slinks off to the side, nice and quiet. Sabaros is a little tiny grub. You hear clank, 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 come up behind you, and Next just has this bright ass beacon essentially shining off of her, casting light into this chamber, which basically lights up this entire area. And you hear this like sickening like snapping and cracking and popping sound. And
Something's eating.
you hear these like low guttural like moans and groans.
Yeah.
You can't really see anything quite yet. with the light in the room now, as you look up to the ceiling, as you're kind of looking around, the entirety of the ceiling of this chamber is covered in different gems. Blues, greens, reds, clear stones, gold stones. I mean, just literally millions of gems just scattered across the ceiling of this chamber.
And
And
then
and you hear this snapping and popping and creaking and low grumbling, moaning coming from somewhere ahead of you. And it gets a little louder,
I would like to look for it.
and it gets a little louder, and a little louder. And I don't have a token for this, so I'm just gonna have to make something up, so hold on.
a little bit louder now.
A little bit louder now. A little bit louder now. Let's see, what tokens do I have? Hold on. Stand by. I should have had one of these pulled out already, but you know.
Big ass zombie ogre.
I'm a baddie. Oh, what's that? Oh, yes. There we go.
A bone dragon.
No. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? Shit. Put that over
A
here.
dehydrated mermaid. Cannibalistic one.
Oh, he's not so big. Just a little guy.
Alright, so you see this giant horned toad-like entity with these massive hands with claws just, 3 or 4 inches off of either side of it. Probably stands about 10 to 12 foot tall. And you see this, like, bone hanging out of its mouth, and it reaches up and grabs it, and you hear snap, crackle, pop, and it just kind of chucks it to the side, and it kind of clunk, 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 off the stonework. And I have a piece of cracker stuck in my throat. Ugh, sorry. Anyways, and it just kind of lumbers forward towards you, and it stops, and you see these like coal black eyes just staring back at you. This deep gray, nasty, thick skin with this like mucusy looking stuff all over it. Standing in front of you is a gray slod, however the hell you say it. 12 foot tall, massive claws, spikes for shoulders. You know,
Standard stuff.
the good life. So I'm actually gonna pull up the stats for this. Wait a minute, is it up here? Hold on. My apologies, folks. We're gonna go roll initiative at this point, so everybody roll their initiative and keep their number so that I can write it
must have
down.
seen somebody.
There it is. All right. Oh, it saw somebody with a light. Where is it? Yep. Oh, yep. There it is. All right. Cool.
Go, my little grubs.
Okay, cool. Alright. Got that. Now I know what to do with it. Alright. Paper. Alright, 25 to 20.
21. You stupid.
21, so Sabros. 21. Alright. 15 to 20.
19 next.
Oh, and 16 for Eric.
Eric is a 13, you said, or 16?
16.
16. Let me roll for Joria. Because I'm a baddie. That is a 17 for Joria. And that is a 7 for the slod. All right, so Saros, you are up first. You see the giant ass fucking creature in front of you there. Now that we are in combat, I'm going to reveal the area here. Okay. It is your
What are
turn, sir.
those?
Your turn, sir. What would you like to do?
I'd like to know what these boxes are first.
They are stone, like little stone pillars,
Okay.
essentially like broken off chunks of that have been carved away from the ceiling over time.
I would like to take a couple hundred deep breaths simultaneously,
Okay.
channel my inner strength, and hold action
And
until
do
Merrick is within 5 feet.
you're gonna hold what now?
Action until Merrick's within 5 feet of the enemy.
Okay, what are you holding?
I'm holding my action, like I'm passing action until he's within 5.
Okay, so which action are you holding though?
Oh, my attack.
Attack action. Okay, very good. So as soon as you're within 5 feet on Merrick, you will attack. Got it. All right. Next up is Merrick. What would you like to do? Or no, excuse me. Nexus. Nexus is up next. My bad.
So there's no communicating with this thing. It's just like mad.
No, it's there, pissed off. It was having a snack.
Okay.
It was having a snack, and you ruined that.
Well, what's my movement? So these are 5-foot squares or 10?
They are 5-foot squares.
Okay, I'm gonna move yonder. And I am gonna cast a 3rd level guiding bolt at it.
All right, go ahead. And guiding bolt is a attack roll, correct?
It's spell attack.
Yeah, it should be a
Or
spell
it just
attack. So
hits.
D20 plus your proficiency plus your spellcasting modifier.
So that's 20.
20 total to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, where is this thing's armor class? Okay, that hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Let me see. So do I add the 6 to the damage, or it's just that's just for hit?
That's just a hit.
Just a hit.
Yep.
And then it's whatever the spell effect is. But if it's level 3, I think Guiding Bolt is level 1 spell normally.
Yeah, so you're getting extra damage on it. You'd have to look at the spell to say what the extra damage is.
It's going to be 23 total.
23 total.
That's 66 at level 3.
Excuse me. So that's alright, there's that. Okay, and the target is now marked, so the next attack on it has advantage.
Okay.
So next up we have Joria is next. Joria is going to pull out her warhammer, and she's going to run screaming at the top of her lungs straight at this crazy ass beast, and she is going to, let me find her, la, la, la. Where's her attack stuff?
Should have caught it right on Joria.
Right, where is, he doesn't have any of that on here. Crap, Ola. Alright, so she's going to basically do 2 weapon attacks against this salad. That is going to be a 21. That hits. And that is a natural 1. So you watch Joria run forward. She brings out her giant warhammer, flips it around, comes down and cracks the slot, kind of basically where the neck and the shoulder meet. And you hear this sickening thud as it hits, and the monster just kind of looks at her really pissed as she brings the hammer back around for another strike. On the other side, he kind of ducks back out of the way. Let me roll damage on that. So that is... Oh, wow. 17 points of bludgeoning damage. And she is going to I believe monks can use a bonus action to do patient defense, can't they? Yes. And she's going to use her bonus action and go into patient defense. Next up is Merrick.
I will take a couple steps over here because I don't know the grubs want me to stand close to him.
Okay.
And then I am going to attempt to use my sharpshooter and shoot him.
Okay, does that give you advantage?
No, it gives me a -5 to the attack roll.
But plus to the damage?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I think that'll hit.
22 hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
So 9 piercing plus 10 damage from sharpshooter, and I'm gonna throw a superiority die on there
So 19 plus
for another 8 damage.
So 27.
And it has to make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened.
what? Of you? Okay.
Yep.
So 27, and what's the wisdom DC?
15.
15, alright. That is 11. Wisdom.
I forgot
Okay.
that beard.
He fails his saving throw, so he is frightened of you, which means he cannot come towards you and must spend his action moving away from you. Is that correct?
No, he cannot willingly move closer to me, and he has disadvantage on all ability checks and attack rolls while in line of sight of me.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good.
And then I'll shoot him again, because I have 2 attacks.
Alright, go ahead and do
7.
so.
Is there any chance that when he's pulling an arrow after the second arrow, because I
Hop
wouldn't
on
have
the arrow.
noticed for the first one, that if I could hop some of my grubs onto
Well, let me put it to you this way. So, since you shape shifted into grub or grubs, you either have to be all in or not all in. Because once you
that we
make
will
that.
go all in.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity check to see if you can hop onto the arrow before it gets released.
That would be a 14.
You just scurry your grub ass onto the arrow as it releases, the second arrow.
Especially not the first one, because I wouldn't have noticed in time.
No. What was the roll on the second one? Was it a 25 minus 5?
Yeah,
Okay, 20 still hits, so 7 piercing,
plus 10 for sharpshooter.
so 17. Alright, so let me do the math. Okay. Alright, the arrow impacts just underneath the clavicle on the left side with a sickening thud, and you see this like putrid purpley green kind of ichor just start to slough down his front side. The grubs, when the arrow impacts, you get flung onto the slot's chest.
Yay!
What happens? What are you doing?
I attempt to dig into him. Does a 15 hit?
That does not hit.
Then I do not.
Okay, you attempt to burrow your way in, dig your way in, bite your way in, and the skin has just got too much mucus, and it's just too stiff and taut for your grubness to get inside of. But you are currently stuck to him like a spitball, essentially.
Yay.
So, alright, so that takes care of your turn, your turn, your turn, and your turn. It is now the slot's turn. It is going to... Let's see. Yeah, okay. So, seeing that it's most definitely getting beat up on here, the slot is going to go ahead and cast invisibility and become invisible.
Do we still see grubs?
He's
it's
technically
like he's
he's
wearing
technically wearing them, so no, he disappears from sight and is going to move
Sabros knows where he
He's
is.
gonna move. He's gonna move some. He's gonna move somewhere.
Yeah, I do.
Let's see.
Everything worked out better than expected.
And that is going to be the slot's turn.
So we don't know that he's there.
You currently do not know he's there. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to move him and keep him
That's fine. We get it.
unseen. I could put him in the GM layer, but I'm lazy.
You could also just move him one square to the right into the darkness.
Oh, I could do that, yes, but that would be behind a wall. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Point
So
taken.
you can leave
visible.
him there. It's fine.
Point taken.
It's
Everyone
not breaking
Actually-
that version.
Actually, I'm going to do something different. Anyways, go ahead. Alright, so we are back to the top of the round. Sabros, it is your turn.
Does an 18 hit?
An 18 just barely hits.
Yay! He is infested by 3 of me.
Okay, what does that
They're
mean?
into him.
What does
Right
that
now,
mean?
nothing.
Okay. He is infested. Okay. Good enough. Next up we have Nex.
Ba-ba-bow. For my turn, I'm gonna cast a second level magic weapon.
Okay.
So my Warhammer just has 2 bonus to attack rolls and damage.
Okay.
Dragons, just let me know when his turn starts.
When his turn starts, I will do
Yeah.
so.
Um,
Okay. Anything else? Do you want to
and-
move?
Yeah, I'm gonna move here to where my known friend is.
Okay. Fair enough.
And that'll be it.
It's Joria's turn. Joria is going to take her turn trying to perceive and see if she can see where the slot went. 17 plus. Oh, wow. Yeah. Joria points and says, "He went that way! He went that way!" And she tells you that she saw a shimmer in the corner over here next to you guys.
Technically, I think that would be moving closer to me while he's frightened, but
Yeah,
But it's,
I don't
it's not that
really-
he's actually there, it's just that where she's pointing.
yeah. Technically
Okay, so
speaking,
he's still
Merrick,
invisible.
you're technically correct, so I'll put him over here. Good point. So she points over here. And she is going to move in this direction and make an attack with disadvantage. Technically, yeah, she misses. She just swings through the air. She's gonna pull the hammer around and try again, and that's a natural 1. She misses twice. First one whiffs through the air. The second one whiffs and hits the wall, and just you see a shower of sparks just go across the wall and onto the floor. And she again uses patient defense. It is Merrick's turn.
ask her if she's sure.
Yeah, I saw him. He's here.
All right, I'll take a shot right over her shoulder.
Okay, at disadvantage, please.
I'm not going to be using the sharpshooter.
So 19.
Yeah,
19 hits. Roll damage.
6.
All right.
And-
8 minus 6. Okay.
Then I would like to use Commander's Strike to make Sabros attack.
To make Sabros attack.
Yep,
Or
I
allow
can
me to-
forgo one of my actions to make an ally attack.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to do a bite. That's a nat 20.
Ow.
Okay, so this attack doesn't deal direct damage. Instead, I roll a 1d4, and that's how many maggots infest. Should I just roll 2d4?
Sure.
Okay.
Super infested.
2 and 3. So an extra 5 are infested for a total of 8.
Plus 8. Okay,
Thank you.
I got that. All right, so as you release your arrow, you hear the impact, and Merrick, you're an amazing hunter, so you know that you hit your quarry because you hear that hit, and it is now it's the Slod's turn. The Slod is
He
going.
takes
Go ahead.
8d6 piercing damage.
8d6. All right, go ahead and roll the damage, please. 28. All right, hold on just a second. Let me do some math here.
Make him really invested.
Right? Yeah, that freaking commander's thing was.
That's pretty sick. That's really fucking sick.
It's slow building, but it's fun.
I had no idea this kind of synergy was possible, but I'm
Right.
really happy.
But apparently it is. All right. As your attack goes off, let me see if he can. Oh no, definitely not. He definitely becomes visible right in front of Joria, and almost like startles her for a second. As you see, his physical being looks pretty beat up. There's 8 different holes in the front of this sled, and you just see this like greenish purple ichor just starting to ooze down the front of him. And then all of a sudden, you see a couple of those holes just kind of disappear. As it appears, some of them
Oh.
healed over.
Technically, I should have added a D8 to Cyberos's damage because it was a superiority tactic.
I'll allow
But-
it this time, but I won't allow it next time.
I'll remember it. 3 damage.
So, it is now the Slud's turn, and he is going to multi-attack Miss Joria standing in front of him. So here we go. Yeah, that's not gonna hit. That's like a 10. And what is his plus to attack? Where's it? Multi-attack. Yeah, that doesn't hit either. That's like a 13. So the Slod reaches out with his claws to swipe at Joria. The first one goes right over the top of her. She kind of leans back. The second one comes down the other way, and she kind of tumbles to the side. And he just strikes the ground next to her. In kind of a fit, he just kind of lets out this low kind of sound. It's very disturbing. And that is the Slod's turn, unfortunately. Thank you, fucking dice, for that. Motherfuckers every time. Alright, we are back to Sabros.
Okay. I will see if I can borrow any more. Nope, that's 6 will probably.
Negative.
Okay.
Next, your turn. On deck we have Joria.
I'm gonna turn to Mirik and say, "Nice shot, lizard brain. Perhaps you're not so useless at all." I'm gonna hit the Slod with a level
Whoa.
3 guiding bolt again.
Whoa!
I'm gonna immediately turn away from him and pull the book out.
Alright, go ahead and roll for your attack, please.
Like 26.
Yeah, that hits.
Nex has done more damage to me than anyone else in this game. I'm wounded.
I'm wounded!
Yeah, 20 damage.
20 damage, alright. Oof. Oof. Slod's looking rough, y'all. Definitely looking rough.
I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
Also, that was a compliment.
Backhanded compliment. which was maybe above Miric's intelligence. I'm not sure.
Alright, so Joria is up next, and she's going to take a multi-attack, or 2 weapon attacks at the Slod, who's looking rough in front of her. That is a natural 20. And that is a natural 18, so both of those will hit. We're going to do... Okay, oh Jesus fucking Christ. Wow, Joria.
This thing is dust.
This is fucking ridiculous. So, 12, 17, 30, 34 damage on the first strike.
Wow.
And she doesn't even get a second strike. She comes around and just takes her hammer and catches the Slod right in the forehead. And as she hits, the hammer crushes the top of the skull and drives it into the base of his neck, and all you see is this like mist of green and purpley looking blood. It just goes like this, and it just crumples to the ground right in front of her. And she kind of brings it down and sets it next to her, and she's just excited but breathing really heavily, like, "Did you guys see that? Did you see that? That was awesome."
Was pretty
Nice
awesome.
swing in there.
I liked the bugs. That was cool.
Wait, what the fuck? When did you guys get so cool?
We hit level 6.
I would like to retrieve my arrows out of its body.
Alright, go ahead and go over and do so.
And whatever else it might be hiding in its hide, I guess.
Alright, so you get your arrows back without too much difficulty. Go ahead and roll a investigation check to see what you find on the body.
Can I roll an investigation check with advantage, seeing as I'm in and around the body?
No. That's a 9.
Yeah.
In a slime fold, you feel and you pull out like a slime covered little coin sack that's got like 5 gold in it.
I'll take it.
As he's searching, I'm going to crawl up his arm.
Like inside of his arm?
No, like just crawl up his arm to get back to his shoulder.
Gotcha.
And I'm just gonna make the smart play here and go ahead and affix myself to arrows.
Okay.
We gotta do this right.
Alright, very good. You make your way up and affix yourself to an arrow. Go ahead and make me just a general dexterity check to make sure you can actually hang on to the arrow going forward.
That's an 11.
Yeah, it's not a very high DC to hang on to an arrow at this point.
Okay.
I guess I will begin removing its head because we probably need a trophy.
Alright, so that's easy enough. You carve off a Slod head, and where do you put it?
Let's clean it up. Maybe I'll wear it.
You're going to wear the Slod head.
Yeah,
Don't destroy it. We need it.
Oh, I'm gonna clean the flesh off of it. Just make a little bone helmet. You know, regular things.
Okay, so you spend the next 20 minutes cleaning off the flesh of this dead Slod head.
I
Sabros,
do have many tools.
right. Next, make me a perception check, please.
18.
About the time Merrick sits down to start doing Merrick things, you see 2 more Slods who apparently have heard the commotion and have come to investigate what's going on. Come lumbering around the corner.
Oh, yes.
¿Por qué?
And they see you, and they're gonna come right on in for happy time.
Cool.
Here comes 2 multi-attacks apiece.
I'm just getting bodied. I don't have a chance to.
Jesus Christ, he rolled a 5 and a 2. So the first one misses. Hold on, 13. Does a 16 hit your armor class?
Nope.
Okay. That doesn't hit, and fuck this dice. None of those hit. As they lumber
saw
around the
that.
corner, and you somehow matrix the fuck out of the way as Slod Claws just comes
I like to think
swinging
I
around
deflect
you.
them with my cool shield.
Yeah, you're kind of like.
That's the stuff.
As you see this irradiated, or this light radiating cleric just fucking deflecting all of these slot attacks, and looking over at you guys, going, "A little help here." We are going to re-roll initiative, please, if you would.
Ah, bollocks. 8. Well, yeah, you ask. Never mind.
Okay, 25 to 20. 15 or 25, 20, 15 to 20.
19 next.
All right, next. 10 to 15.
Sabro said a 16.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. I was
okay.
16.
All right, so let me. All right, 5 to 10,
8.
and below that was this guy. Okay. All right, so first up is Nex.
Can I can't move away with them.
You move away, each of them get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. I'm gonna be a big old baby, and I'm gonna cast Meld into Stone and just dip into the floor. I'm the floor now.
Interesting move, but I like it.
Yeah, because I
Uh,
kind of blew my load on the first slot. So
Sure.
this is you guys.
All right, you watch as Nex disappears into the floor. Next up, we have this slot here. Excuse me. 5, 10. We're gonna go down here. He sees you carving, and you will get. No, you don't, because you're melded into the floor.
A quick thing though.
Yeah, go ahead.
How long has it been since we started in here?
Like total,
Yeah, since we came in,
10 minutes.
including the 20 minutes for. Okay, I just want to make sure because like the light for this rod only lasts an hour, so
Yeah,
I hate to be like
you've-
the guy that says, "Did the teacher take the homework?" But
Yeah,
like,
no,
it might
no,
be dark.
no. That's I appreciate that. You are about 15 or 20 minutes away from that wearing off.
Okay, so it's like on the floor above me, but still lit.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. All right, so this slot is going to come down, sees you carving on one of its brethren, and it's going to use its multi-attack on you, Merrick.
Rude.
Party on. That is a 5. And that is a 20.
That'll hit.
Not a natural 20, but a 20 total. All right, so the first one. That is going to be 1d10, d10. There you are. Okay, that is going to be 5 piercing for the first, or for the one that hit. So 5 damage. Piercing damage to you from the first slot attack. As the first claw reaches out and just passes over your head, and the second one comes down and just kind of barely catches you in the shoulder on the way by.
Okay.
And it's going to end its turn there. So that was next. Sabros, you're next.
I will hold my turn for Merrick.
Merrick, your turn.
And I will vaguely wiggle in the direction of the northwest slot.
Yeah, I can do that. I don't have any disadvantage with sharpshooter for doing that, so
You do not know. If you attack ranged within melee, you would, but that guy's not in melee with you, so technically, I'm gonna cancel out the fact that you're in melee combat. So go ahead and shoot him.
shoot him. Gonna since I'm firing Sabros, I'll just fire normally without the sharpshooter.
Alright.
So 19.
Excuse me.
So
You
6
blew it.
damage, and Sabros makes contact.
All right, 6 damage on the. Hang on, let me hold on. So. Okay, so this guy 6. Okay, very good. Sorry, just keep track. And Sabros, go ahead and roll a dex check to make sure that you stick to his chest.
16.
All right, easy enough. You are now.
But
You are what?
I was thinking, like, as the arrow's making contact, I actually want to, like, use my bonus action to pop out of wild form. And use that momentum to, like, keep sliding around him, but use my primal savagery to throw my gnarled claws out, just scrape alongside him.
So you're gonna go back to your normal form and then
Yeah.
scrape him as you go by.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It's
Points for style.
you know.
Drop kicking.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds good. I like it. I'm down with that.
I'm guessing a 16 is not going to hit him.
16 does not hit.
But it looks cool.
So as the arrow impacts and you change forms, you see the eyes of the slot kind of go wide for a second as you reach out to grab it with its claws, grab it with your claws and kind of rake as you go by. You just barely catch the hide, and you don't really do much damage, really anything as you go by. As you basically just kind of grab the mucusy crap on the outside of his skin and just kind of peel it off as you go by.
And I'll just put myself behind them
And
now.
now you have 2 hands that are coated in slime.
Is it possible to drop my bow and draw my sword to hit this guy with my other attack, or am I stuck into it?
So,
Fighter.
so drawing a weapon or whatever in 5e technically does not cost you an action, technically speaking. So I'll allow it. So if you want to drop your bow, but however, I will require you to take an action to pick it back up.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'll drop my bow and I will attempt to whack this one with my longsword.
All right, go ahead, whack away.
22.
22 will hit. Roll damage for your sword.
Okay. 10 damage, and then I would like to frenzy and bite him.
Okay.
25. I bite him for 6, and I heal for 6.
Okay. All right. Is that your turn, sir? Or are you going to action surge?
You tempt me. This one's for short rest. Yeah, let's fuck it. Action surge. Let's do it again.
All right.
Swords. 15 does not.
Does not hit.
13 does not.
Does
What a
not hit.
great action surge.
As you
So proud.
as you reach out after biting him, he
Oh
kind of.
fuck.
You okay?
I meant to menace him with my attacks. That did hit, but whatever.
So as you bite him, you pull back to get your breath back in you and pull your sword around to swipe again, and the slot kind of pulls back just in time to miss your 2 flurries as you bring them around. But good try. Alright, so we are on to Joria now. Joria is going to turn and help defend Merrick, and she is going to make a multi-attack with her weapon. That is going to be a 21 that hits, and that is going to be a 13 that does not hit. Okay. That is going to be 13 points of damage. So that is the one that was not hit. Or wait a minute, that was the one that was hit. So I took the... fuck it. 13 minus 13. Okay. Okay. She comes around with the warhammer and slams it into the side of the chest, and you hear this sickening kind of crunch and crack sound. It sounds like she might have broke some ribs. And he lets out this guttural kind of low grumble. Brrr! Comes back around and tries to slam it into the shoulder, and he kind of ducks it out of the way as the hammer just kind of hits the ground in front of her, and she readies herself for the next round of attacks. Which actually brings it to this Slod's turn, and he is going to make a multi-attack against Joria in response to those attacks. That is not going to hit. No, motherfucker. Fuck these dice. That's not going to hit either.
We're crowdfunding you new dice.
Yeah, come on. Alright, so it is back to the top of the round. We have Nex.
Did that other slot go? The one that's
Yeah.
supposed to be?
That's
Okay.
the one that just went. And this slot I'm going to take out of here because he's dead.
I'm going to use my movement to come back out of the ground.
Okay?
And then I'm going to cast first level command on the one that's right next to me to flee.
Oh,
and that's a
damn.
14 wisdom saving throw.
14 wisdom saving throw. Yeah, that's a 5.
So it spends, I guess, its next turn moving as far as it can, as fast as it can.
Okay, so let me check its movement. Okay. And it is technically its turn. Are you finished with your turn?
Yep, that's it.
It is going to leave both of your spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can both take an attack of opportunity against it as it leaves. With your mace. Unless you're a
So it's just like-
warcaster.
Regular hit?
Yeah,
Like roll the hit and then damage?
correct. If it hits.
18?
18 just barely hits.
Or 19, actually, I guess.
19 hits.
Is this pointy one the D8?
D8 is like a double pyramid.
Yeah.
Looks like this.
Diamond.
Diamond,
Yeah.
yeah. That's rhombus, whatever you want to call it. Not
Yeah,
quite a
okay.
rhombus.
I was
but
right. So that's going to be 10 damage.
10 damage, okay. Sabros, do you want to make your attack of opportunity, please?
I will also Primal Savagery him again. 18.
That barely
Is that
hits. Yep, barely.
Okay. It'll be 13 points of damage.
Okay.
And if it matters, that's acid damage.
It actually does not matter.
That was actually 12, including the magic weapon, but if it's too late, it's too late.
Nope, that's fine. I got
I
you.
will remember it next time.
Yep, I got you. Okay. So this slot is currently being commanded to flee, and that was Nexus' turn. It's that slot's turn, and it will spend its turn running away.
Running away and getting beat up.
It is heading back with which way it came. It is
Shit, he's
now
getting
Sabros. It is your turn.
Then I will.
On deck we
Okay,
have
is that
Merrick.
one ran off?
Yep.
How was he looking when he ran off?
He's actually not doing too bad.
Well, I'll roll in and attack that bastard.
All right, go ahead.
That will not hit.
All right. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Merrick, you're on. You're up.
Alright. Let's hit him with the longsword.
Smacky, smacky. Nope.
Nope. Nope.
As you reach out again, he kind of ducks out of the way. The first one kind of glancing off of the shoulder, not really finding any purchase. And the second one, he just ducks out of the way, and it just barely sails by Joria's face. As you swing it by, and you kind of look at her like, what?
I use a bow. Just kind of flailing the sword.
It's like a shillelagh. All right.
Please don't make shillelagh references.
That's right, baby. Shillelagh. Hey. All right. So Joria's next. She is going to release her multi-attack on this lad. That is not going to hit.
I blew all my good rolls.
The first one misses, and the second one, she goes to swing, and from some of the hits that's happened in front of her, she's kind of been splashed with a little bit of sludge and slime, and her hammer comes out of her hands as she swings the last time, and it goes woof, 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 woof. It goes right over the top of Sabros' head and goes clank, 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 and lands on the floor back here between Nex and Sabros. She literally just, whatever the term for getting rid of your weapon is.
Self-disarm.
Yeah, basically disarmed herself.
Self-own.
There you go. Yeah, pwned herself. And it is now the Slod's turn. And you kind of hear this as he attacks. That's not going to hit. That'll hit. 23. Alright, so that is...
We'll get to see what they actually do.
I know, right? Finally, fuck. I never, ever get to hit with anything I do. It's ridiculous.
I almost feel bad.
Oh, damn! Yeah, that's 12. That's 13 points of damage. Slashing damage. Where, Joria? How many hit points do you have, girl? Where are you? Hit points.
Poor Joria down a whole level.
Where the fuck? Yeah.
Getting beat up by monsters.
Oh, there it is. So she is down to... Okay. Alright, got it. As you see the claw reach out and snag Joria basically right in the shoulder, you see as it rips her flesh open right across the top of the shoulder down to the clavicle, and you see blood spray out and just start to trickle down the front of her monk-type outfit. And you just... you hear her just kind of moan a little bit as she gets hit. That was a pretty good hit, for sure. Monks usually don't get hit a whole lot. All right, we are back to the top of the round. Next, it is your turn.
I probably can't pick up Joria's hammer, right? It's like super heavy or something.
It's very heavy.
Okay, I'm just gonna opt to hit the slot with a second level guiding bolt.
Okay, go ahead.
So that is 24.
That hits. Roll damage.
Uh, 18 damage.
Okay. Okay.
And, as a quick aside, sorry to interrupt your flow, but
That's okay.
under attacks on my character sheet, it has first level guiding bolt. Does it still cost a first level spell slot if it's an attack? Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. If
was
guiding
something.
bolt is a first level spell, you have to have a spell slot of at least first level to cast it. If it's a cantrip, it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Sacred Flame would be one you could cast without one of those, but guiding bolt is a leveled spell.
Got it.
Okay, so we are on to next attack has advantage. By the way, we're on to the slot. Who does this individual get another saving throw, or how long does command last until
It's just one round.
it's 1 round? Okay, so
Yep.
it wears
Three
off and
really
is
ones.
now going to come back. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Right there, and it is going to.
Should run while I had the chance. But I won't complain. Merrick welcomes the fight.
Okay, I gotta look something up. Hold on 1 second there, guys.
Tongue lash.
Nope. Hang on.
Paralysis.
Stand by. Because I'm not sure the specifics on this one.
Smoke bomb.
Lightning bolt.
Well, we're in a nice little line down here.
Okay. So I need. Let's see. What is the? It's yeah. I need everybody to make me a dexterity saving throw as the slot comes around the corner and you see this little tiny bead of red energy come out of its hand and streak across the room and land right here. And the whole cavern shakes and all your vision goes red as a fireball erupts on the floor in front of you.
A strong 4.
19.
16.
Everybody hang on to your numbers because I'll need it in just a minute. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, goddamn. Hold on. Wait a minute, how many? Yeah, that's what it was. Alright.
Should have just stayed in the ground.
Alright, go ahead and give me your numbers, guys. Next.
4.
A 4?
Yep.
You take 29 points of fire damage.
Ah!
Next. Sabros.
19.
Alright, you take 14 points of fire damage. Joria, I didn't roll for Joria. Yep, she fails. She takes 29 points. Oh, Joria is unconscious.
Nice. I rolled a 16.
You take 14 points of fire damage.
Oh, I don't know what this means, but I do have fire resistance. I don't know if that's like a. It will help me.
If you took 29, if you're resistant, you take 14 instead. Okay. So, let's see, where were we in the turn order there? That was that slot, so we were down here. Next.
Cerberus,
Nope,
or-
it's Nex's turn. Next, it is your turn now.
Okay, so how do I make Joria not unconscious?
No, wait a minute, I'm
So-
wrong.
I was gonna say next.
It
just
is,
guiding Bolton.
yeah, no, it is Sabros' turn. Excuse me. I apologize.
Okay.
I'm
My
on the
question
wrong
does
guy.
still stand though.
What was the
The
question?
healing helps the unconscious. Like she's not dead. Just
Healing would stabilize them.
Okay.
Alright, so Sabros, it is your turn. You watch Joria as she basically falls to the floor, smoldering.
Healing them would restore them to whatever the healing was, so they'd be fully conscious. But if you like heal check them, or
Oh, like a
them,
medicine
you can
check. That's the
stabilize.
stabilize. You're right. You're correct. That is correct. You are correct.
I'm going to cast Moonbeam on the one on the door
Moonbeam back here.
at third level.
Okay, go ahead and what is it a roll?
Please make a
Save.
DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
DC 15 con. Let's see what its modifier is. Constitution. Oh, fails. So
Yay.
that's a 12. As Sabaros channels his
Is-
inner Lux.
23 fucking damage.
20
Radiant damage.
20
23 radiant damage.
23 points. Okay, so we're down to. Okay. Very good. That one's still looking fairly healthy. The one between everybody is looking pretty rough. Actually, hold on. I forgot to do a saving throw for him too. Okay, no,
It's
he failed.
fireballed.
He took 29 points of damage as well. Yeah, that guy's looking really rough. Real rough. Okay, that was Sabaros' turn. It is Merrick's turn now.
Longsword.
Hey, that hits. Roll damage. 9
9.
damage. Yay, 9 damage. Okay. Do it again.
It's not down. I'm gonna superiority on that and try to menace it.
Okay.
It needs to make a DC 15 Wisdom save.
Natural
And-
18.
Okay, well, it still takes 14 damage.
Okay.
And then I will attempt to whack it again.
Alright, go ahead. Looking real rough.
5
hits.
damage.
Oh. Barely standing. It's like breathing. Fucking bits are falling off and sloughing off onto the floor with this like sickening dripping sound. Just and it's like struggling to breathe and stand in front of you.
I will attempt to bite it as a bonus action.
Alright, go ahead.
Damn it.
Does not connect. For whatever reason, it's like seesawing back and forth, trying to keep itself up, and it seesaws backwards as you reach out to try and bite it, and you miss it with your adrenaline pumping and freshly singed face. We are on to we're on to Joria. That's a death saving throw. That is a success.
I don't think I have any potions on my person, which is
Yeah,
Probably bad.
none of you have bought potions or even thought about going and buying potions or
Yeah.
going to any shops. So
That's
We're
what I'm
great.
here for.
okay, we are we are actually to we're actually to this guy's turn right here, and he is going to attempt to attack Joria. That is a natural 1. That does not hit.
wow.
That
That's
is
lucky.
a natural 4. That does not hit. Not sure how you do that, but okay.
Super lucky.
Misses both of its attacks because it is basically fucking Walking Dead right now.
That makes sense.
So, we are back to the top of the round to Nexian.
Boo. I'm gonna have to hit Joria with a healing word, second level. It's
Okay.
a 60-foot range.
All right, you're
And I
plenty.
think it's a bonus action. If it says so, like the rest of the times are 1A. Oh yeah, mouse over says 1 bonus action.
Bonus action.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm gonna do that. It just hits, right?
Yeah, just roll for the amount, whatever it tells you.
How do I read a D4? It's just like
The number, the pyramid. It's the number at the bottom.
number
Typically,
at the
well,
bottom?
it depends on what kind of D4 you have. Some D4s that are pyramids like this, they've got a big number at the top. That's the number on that D4. But there's also other D4s where the number's actually labeled at the bottom in the upright
Okay.
position. So it just depends on what kind of D4 you have.
Okay, I think it's top because that's the one that's upright.
There you go. Then that would be
Okay,
it.
so that's 4. That's 8 health restored.
Okay, so Joria comes back to life with a gasp, laying on the floor with 8 hit points.
And I'm gonna toll the dead, the dying one.
Okay.
That's a 14 wisdom saving throw.
That is a natural 4.
All right, so that's a 2d8 damage. It's probably more than that,
And
but
he is dead on the floor in front of you in a pile of slough.
I rang him to death. I
Yep.
rang his bell.
You rang his bell. Anyways,
And then I'm gonna move 15, 20, 30. We're way the hell over here.
all right, perfect. Let me take her condition away. Take that away. She is now conscious. Okay. It is that Slod's turn. Once
He needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
for what?
He's still in Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Oh, okay. That is a natural 19 plus 3.
So he'll take half damage.
All right. Everybody doing
That's
okay?
25, so he'll take 12
All right.
radiant damage.
So that's 83. Okay. All right. Anything else for your turn?
That wasn't my turn.
Oh, wait a minute.
That
It was the Slod's turn. Hold
Yep.
on. Let me see. How many times? Okay. Yeah. So, watching all of its buddies die in front of it, you see it kind of turn its hand over, and it starts waving its hand around and muttering some kind of words that you don't understand under its breath. And in an instance, you see this like spark of blue purple arcane energy envelop it and kind of swirl, and all of a sudden, poof, the slot disappears. Roll an Arcana check for me. Anybody
Is it-
anybody proficient in Arcana?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, then never
We're
mind.
the most non-magical party right now.
Right. Actually, let me look at Joria's. Is she? Nope, she's not. Okay. Yep, the slot disappears into thin air. Just boop. You hear this kind of arcane, like crackling sound, kind of snap after the spell completes.
Well, that was horrendous. So, do we hear it moving around? Anything? It's just like it's gone.
It's gone.
Effectively, the fuck out of it.
It's gone. Just somebody roll me a straight intelligence check.
I promise I'm really good at these.
I will probably take that.
So good.
13. But that sounds
Merrick,
better.
this guy is gone.
We hit a non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20. He plane shifted.
Okay.
Oh,
What?
okay.
The fuck?
So what we're dealing with here is demons from the plane of chaos. Wonderful.
Wunderbar.
Stay out of my cave.
Boom, 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 boom. All right. So, what are you going to do now?
What's the blue box?
That's water.
Is it just like a fountain or
Just a pool, like a pool of water. Basically, like where maybe they were digging a hole, like digging down, struck water, and it just kind of rose up to that spot.
Can I investigate the water?
You may absolutely investigate the water. Go ahead, sir.
Tentacles.
Yeah, it would be a 9.
Kraken. Rah! No. 9. It's a cool pool of water. It's very cobalt looking.
Very what?
Cobalt. Like
Hmm.
dark, that really rich, dark ocean blue.
Cool.
What kind of treasures in this room?
Make a perception check. Or an investigation if you're looking for something specific.
18 perception.
Okay, looking around the room, as you look across the ceiling, there are millions of gems embedded into the ceiling. The floor is basically rough stone. There are a couple of small carts that are tilted over that have a small scattering of little bits of fragments of gems and things. Outside of that, you see broken wood. You see scattered bones, ripped clothing. You don't really see. Outside of that, you really don't see much.
Then I'll go back to collecting my heads.
Okay, easy enough. You have one more head outside of the one that you had. So you have 2 slot heads. So mark that down in your inventory. 2 slot heads.
I have 1 glorious slot helmet and 1 slot head.
You know what? Go ahead and let's see. What would that be? Like dexterity, probably. Yeah, roll a dex check. Just a straight dexterity check to see just how well you make that helmet.
Dex check. 22.
That is one sweet fucking helmet. Looks exactly like you had envisioned it.
It's beautiful.
Alright, so.
How far down does this water seem to go?
You're not certain, but it's really,
Pretty deep.
I would say it's probably fairly deep looking to you because you can't see anything underneath it.
I'm gonna dive into the water, and partway through the dive, I'm going to transform into a swarm of quippers, which are basically
Basically what?
piranha.
Okay. Alright, so you dive into the water. Go ahead and roll a perception check, I guess.
Yeah. And I have dark vision while I'm swimming, so. Oh, hold on.
Damn.
Are we taking a short rest? Pretty much.
That's up to your party.
Is a 19 perception check.
Okay. This goes down about 15 or 20 feet.
Oh, that's anticlimactic.
And the only thing you see at the bottom are a couple of crashed up carts. But you catch a just real faint shimmer in the lower corner, kind of tucked up underneath the cart.
I would like to investigate the shimmer.
Okay, you go over and you pull back the piece of wood, and you find a diamond that's about the size of your thumb,
Hell yeah.
and that's all you find.
One of my quipper selves will scoop that up in their mouth and will come up to the surface and all like simultaneously jump out of the water, flopping around on the ground, and will reform into sexy ass. And I will spit a diamond out into my hand.
Go ahead and mark down that you have 1 diamond in your possession worth 1,000 gold.
Sexy ass Sabros comes out of the water flopping around like a fish. Oh wait, I'm person again.
I was literally a fish. For reform it, I'm still flopping.
That's hilarious. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do in this chamber?
I'm I would assume that we probably want to take a short rest so Joria can get some hit points back.
Yep, absolutely. That would be a great idea. So go ahead and
Um,
take your short rest if you would.
Can I? This is like reaching. So I'm gonna leave it up to your discretion. Can I use my artisan's blessing? It's a crafting an item of metal no more than 100 gold pieces in value.
Okay.
Can I take an hour to make like some kind of a chain mesh that would barrier like this entrance, so we can take a long rest? Yeah, that's. I know it's a tall order, but I'm just like thinking of how I can not die.
Well, so you have to have enough metal to fashion it 10 by 10, because that's the entrance to this chamber, is 10 by 10. How much metal do you have in your possession currently?
I wrote it down when I got it. I just it's a 1 pound of iron bar. So
I would say you could probably fashion something that would slow something down, but would not be a barrier.
You do also get to roll your hit dice for short rest.
Yeah,
up
I
to
also
that.
burned a lot of spell slots.
Miracle protect you.
We're dealing with at least one more slot.
Miracle protect you.
Alright, I will opt for short rest then.
Do you recover any cleric spell slots on a short rest?
I think it's just hit die. Like, hit die per hour, I guess?
Something like that. I'd have to look
I'm
up
just
the
looking at
roll.
the D&D Beyond.
I'd have
It
to
like
look,
gives
I'd
me...
have to look up the roll. Because I'm not sure. Alright. So, what would you like to do?
how much does my character know about plane shifting? I just know that it is what happened.
Roll a history check to see if you remember anything from teachings, whether in school or just anywhere.
That's my shit. 23.
You know the basic fundamentals of the spell. He literally could have transported himself to any plane other than the one he's on. And it's not a spell that... It's not like banishment where you go there for a certain amount of time and then you snap back. They're just gone. Like, I went back to the plane of chaos. Or I went to the Feywild. Or wherever the fuck he wanted to go, he could go there.
Surely there's more in the cave we can find, right?
That's exactly what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I mean, these two heard the commotion, and we got two.
We also
one-
don't know how deep this mine goes.
It's a fair point.
But I imagine if there was some way they got here initially, there's somewhere they're coming from. Some kind of attunement, possibly, or a sigil.
So
Get rid of
best-
that, we solve the slot problem.
be best to take care of it quickly then, right? Before more of them show up.
It's probably for the best that we press on.
Let's see. I will pick up all of my things.
Okay.
And wear my fancy helmet.
Alright, so do you guys go back out the entrance and continue back the other direction towards which you came? You can move your characters up and out whichever way you'd like from there.
I'd like to kind of move into this.
Okay. very good.
area.
You
And also in the movement, I'd like to grab the rod and relight it.
Okay, very good. You light the area and you come into a small little area that looks like it was started to be mined and then they didn't run into anything that they liked and it just dead ends right there.
Bam. Can I
Nothing.
investigate the area? Perception check.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Alright, I'm gonna do a 16.
16. Just some splintered wood, leftover rusted pickaxe, and some tattered clothing on the floor.
I suppose we'll press on straight forward.
Okay. So you guys are moving forward. Over this way. You continue forward.
Yeah.
Let me grab Joria here so I don't have to do this. Alright, we'll just leave her back here for now. Okay.
Just along the
As you
hallway.
continue forward, you basically find the same bits of things that you found throughout the rest of the cave. Scattered wood, tattered things, little traces of gems, bones here and there. And as you near this corner here, everybody make me a perception check if you would, please.
9.
Natural 20, so 23.
Okay.
21.
Okay, just a second here. Okay, cool. As you make your way to the corner, I'm going to move you all forward. You hear similar sounds that you heard when you first heard that slod, the cracking and the popping. But it's very distant. And as you peek around the corner, you see this long hallway. And then it just disappears in the darkness.
What could possibly be going on over here? Miracle stealth.
Okay, roll stealth for me.
17.
Okay, you think you're pretty well hidden. Do you tell the others to wait, or do you just charge in?
I just go up here.
Okay.
They may do as they wish. That
Wow.
sounded like good things.
I am absolutely flabbergasted right now. It's fucking crazy. Alright, hold on one second, guys. I need...
Hmm. That's fancy looking.
Merrick, wow. You peek around the corner and you get a view of all that. You currently count 5 gray slots and something you've never seen in the middle. It's black skinned in nature. Looks very similar to the slots that are around it. Ignore the wings. But it's different than all the others. And bigger by about
Obsidian
2 foot.
flood.
and it's taller by about 1.5 feet, 2 foot.
We'll just back up a little bit
All right.
and quietly report it to the group.
What does the group decide to do?
Pee a little bit.
Hmm.
It may at least be a full rest situation.
Yeah.
Joria pipes up and says, "Guys, I
Can
really."
you describe the thing in the middle to us and like do an intelligence check?
Sure. It looks just like the other slods, only it's taller, it's black, and it has these black spikes coming out of its shoulders.
Can I do an intelligence check to see if I know what it is?
Sure.
I do not know what it is.
It's a black-looking slod.
Can I survival check to see if I know what it is?
Sure.
Nope.
It's a black-looking slod. Slightly bigger.
I survival check.
Last one.
I want to survive against it.
22.
It is known as a death slod.
What you've described to me, that in there is a death slod, and we will be leaving right now. At least until our wounds have healed. Perhaps then we could survive this.
Joria seconds that. I would like to go back and camp out for the night and maybe come back tomorrow and try again. I don't feel very good.
I don't feel safe.
I'm with you guys on this one. I think as much as I'd like to, it's probably not smart, and good hunters have to know when when you're about to become the hunted.
Alright, so the party decides to
Scooby-Doo run out of there.
retreat back out. Head back to the camp. You guys set up for the evening. Joria makes you a delicious dinner. You recover and get ready for rest, to recuperate and make your plan to go in and assault the Slod horde, as it were. And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on The Breath of Silence, Episode 6. We hope you tune in next time to see what happens to the group with this onslaught of Slod inside of this special mine. So everybody have a wonderful evening. Take care and be kind to everyone. See ya. And if I can find the right button, we might be able to turn the slide. See you guys.